So one of the things I noticed when I first came around 2021 was, well, two things regarding houses. One, they all look very secure. So big gates, big fences. They're usually all across like that one, so you can't see in. It gives the impression of, stay out, keep out, that kind of thing. Very secure. Must be a lot of crime. That was my first impression. And the other thing was the individuality. It's rare that you see two houses the same, and very common that one house built next to another will be completely different, as probably this is showing. Really very eclectic. You can walk around some neighbourhoods and you'll see almost a medieval castle next door to a very contemporary glass fronted house. So really strange, but really nice. It's nice to wander around and see something different. But getting back to the big gates, that was a question I asked in the first couple of days that I was here, because I thought, blimey, where have I come? Is this and it's nothing to do with crime, because I haven't been aware of any here. I'm sure it exists, but it's if it does, it's hidden very well. But as I've said before, Russians are very private people, so I think it's kind of the attitude, the home is the castle. So they keep themselves to themselves, and their house is very private, and yeah, why not? Pit bike. So they keep themselves to themselves, very private, and big gates, big fences are very, very commonplace, very normal. I haven't really asked anybody why, because I think the attitude will probably be, well, why not? Some of it I think is probably to look grand, because some of them are very, very ornate, some of them are very over the top, so there's probably an element of that. But I think, like I say, I think it's just a question of making something for the family, and it being safe for them, and feeling private, and it's certainly not about protecting themselves from hordes of marauding gangsters. It's certainly not that at all. In fact, I think since I've been here, I don't think I've seen anything even close to a fight or something, and that's a weekly occurrence in the UK, especially in the evenings. You walk around the town and there's always some drunk staggering around in the streets having a punch up, thinking they can take on the world after they've had 2 pints. I haven't seen any of that in Russia, not once. I mean, literally not once. I think the closest I've seen is somebody getting a bit eager with their car horn in traffic. I think they just get on, it's just, yeah, look at that lovely old thing. Somebody will inform me what that is, I have no clue. Oh, look at that, it's on display. So there just doesn't seem to be a hassle. It's weird. It is very weird. It's very strange to come from not only a Western place like the UK that is very, I've got to say, very aggressive. There's always somebody having a moan, oh, get out of my way. There's always somebody shouting something, and you know, if you come from the UK, you know what I mean. Unless you're living in a bubble. And coming here, I was expecting at least the same, based on what I've been told, and pretty much a lot more. Haven't noticed anything like that at all. Which is why I've got to say it again. It's the safest place I felt. I mean, I'm wandering around on my own. Sometimes people will talk to me, and the first thing I say, I'm sorry, I'm English, I don't understand Russian. And then out comes the Google Translate. And a lot of people come up to me and ask about the car. What do I think of it? I'm driving a Chinese car, which, if you knew me, you would probably say that's the last car in the world that I would buy. Coming from the automotive industry, I know how cars are put together, and my weapons of choice have always been things like BMW, Mercedes, a couple of Range Rovers in the last few years. Again, bad reputation for Range Rovers, but I found them to be good. So, speak as you find, the ones I had were good. But yeah, you know, Audi, I've had a couple of Audis, so that kind of thing. And when we went shopping for a car, I was originally looking for a Subaru, I think. And we went to look at it, didn't really like it. It was black. I'm not a fan of black cars, so it's filthy as soon as you drive them. They only look good in the showroom. So we didn't really like the Subaru, so we were sort of at this giant car supermarket kind of place. They had all sorts there, and we had to wander around. And sort of ended up at this Haval, H-A-V-A-L. And yeah, do you know what? I didn't even drive it. I think I drove it around the car park. It was more a case of, we need a car. This is tidy. It's only done 20,000 kilometres. It's 18 months old. Yeah, it's, you know, it's got parking cameras, and it's got air conditioning. It's got heated seats front and back, heated steering wheel, nice air conditioning front and back. Blah blah blah. Thought that'll do. Didn't really, just literally decided in my head it was going to drive like a pile of junk, but it will do for the time being. Here we are, after owning the thing and doing 12,000 kilometres in it. I've got to say, it's really good. I mean, really good. It hasn't missed a beat. It hasn't let me down at all. It's ridiculously good on fuel compared to what I'm used to anyway. You know, I'm averaging about 45 miles to the gallon. Comfortable wise, it's insane. I thought it was going to drive like a pile of junk. How wrong I was. I came out of a Mercedes in the UK, and this is the first car I've been driving since that, and dare I say it, it drives as well as the Mercedes I was driving, which was an E-Class. Yeah, I think it does. I think it does. It is so comfortable. Everything feels nice. My only criticism of the car when I first got it was the steering wheel. The steering wheel could have been better quality. It's like that fake leather. It doesn't match the center console leather, which is that lovely soft and plush leather, and doesn't match the seats, so it's like a cheap version. If you got the steering wheel recovered, of which I can get that done locally in half a dozen places for about £80, anyway I want it, leather, you know, different colour stitching, etc, etc. If you had the steering wheel recovered, it would really feel like a quality item. Steering wheel, I think, is quite important in the car, because that's the bit that you're connected to the car with, so that's your tactile bit. And I think if it had a decent steering wheel, it really would be nice. That said, I was going to change it and just haven't bothered, because I got used to it, and it doesn't really bother me that much. But that's it. That's all I can fault that car on. It really has been a shock. Took it in for a service. It was about £90 to service it. And yeah, every time I go out in the car, every time I drive it, it puts a smile on my face. It's 4-wheel drive, it's got plenty of ground clearance. It's Chinese. So yeah, getting back to the original point, that is probably the thing that I get asked about the most. You know, Russians come up to me and ask me what I think of the car, and probably they're curious themselves to see what it's like. And a few people have said they're thinking of buying a new car and they really wanted to know what the Chinese car was like. I've got to say, that one I think it's brilliant, and I absolutely would recommend it. So much so that where I thought it was going to be a stopgap and, you know, get rid of it fairly soon, I can't see any point in getting rid of it. Does everything we need it to do and more, and it's comfortable, it's reliable, it's good on fuel. And what do you need? Lots of different Chinese makes out here, all sorts of weird and wonderfuls. Can't obviously comment on the quality of them because I've not been in them, but certainly a lot of them look really nice, very nice. So yeah, there we are, Chinese cars, and one of the water parks, of which there are quite a few in this area. So yeah, just having, like I say, a little wander around. Right, okay, I think that will do for today. Better go and see what's happened to the wife. Bye for now.